Hey guys, welcome to Seeking Beyond. I'm Tara Antonellis, and here we talk about the metaphysical, the phenomenal, and astrology. And today I'm going to be talking about some astrology for the week of January 12th through the 18th. And a little before we go into the transit that is going to be happening on January 12th with Mars trine Neptune, I'm going to talk about Mars retrograding in the sign of Cancer for a little bit. So, when it is in Cancer, it is in its fall here and it loses dignity. If you can think of the god of war exchanging energy with the mother, the goddess, and it's almost like the soldier is sitting down for a cup of tea and it doesn't quite mesh that well. So Mars doesn't necessarily behave the way it wants to in this sign. And so as it retrogrades, this energy can bubble up to the surface things that are close to the heart. And it can have us reacting in rageful ways. And as this retrogrades, it is wise not to embrace these fits of anger that might overtake us at this time. It can usually stem from a karmatic type of ancestral issue that might be surfacing. So, whatever wounds that may be coming up at this time may be calling for ancestral karmatic releasing contracts that need to be broken. And more likely than not, it's going to affect the home and the family. And so when you're dealing with the crab, you are dealing with matters of the heart, but absolutely familial issues as well. With that being said, Mars trining Neptune is going to be classified by Neptune's watery energy that's in Pisces. And this is a great time for connecting spiritually. If you have any magical workings that you're doing, there's a lot of energy behind this. Um, but also the psyche and our dreams and connecting with creativity. We can really channel in that state of mind when we use outlets of creativity, and there could be prophetic messages in our dreams at these times as well. There's a balancing of energy, of compassion that gets brought into this that really just dilutes that aggression that Mars will bring at this time, and it turns more into a positive uh, unfolding as these planets interact with each other. And you can find yourself knuckles deep in a new project and just getting big hits of motivation and just inspiration to create things with your hands and and even planning thoughts as well. All right. And then January 13th, along with this potent energy that is going to be happening with all these planets, the full moon in Cancer is going to be taking place. This full moon has positive energy that's like infused in it, in the illumination that is taking place, unexpected shifts or new plot twists that involve our emotions and our relationships, our family. The trine of the sun in Uranus that I'm going to be talking about in just a moment makes for harmonious avenues to open up to us and serendipitously lead us along pathways that can present themselves at this time as well. There can be a conscious beginning as well. So even if physically something might not physically open up, there can be hits mentally or um, visions and plans that can take place at this time. A practical building, Sun in Capricorn, which is in the axis of the Cancer moon. It is calling forth inner needs that need to take place for us to cultivate these things. So as within, so without. We need to check in with ourselves, what our needs are here, so that there can be a coherence between our mind and body, our intuition and our dreams, but also logic and practicality. And there's a balancing that can take place here. There's a liberation that can come with this when you're finally accepting and becoming aware of where you are emotionally and what you need. Uranus grants us a freedom that we can claim at this time. And the lunation dance that's taking place with these planets, the transits that are happening, are showing us what needs to be healed at this time. So Mars in its retrograde is asking that we go in and find the roots that these triggers might be bringing up to the surface, and our hearts are being illuminated in what has gone unfelt or suppressed. There's a transmutation that is waiting to be called forth. Okay, let's talk about the Sun trine Uranus. The Sun in Capricorn trining Uranus and Taurus. This is a very earthy transit, and it's harmonious. It's positive. It's a great thing. And the Sun is working together with spontaneity that can bring forth itself in a practical and very grounding way. So it also can have correspondences to our desires and also money. The Sun in Capricorn can be a time for planning with innovative ideas that can just kind of come to you and help you reach whatever goals that you've been aspiring towards in your life path. And there's a determination that's behind it with Capricorn energy, and a very lasting, stable foundation that's being built as well. And this can involve our desires, our wants and needs, and things that are pleasurable and enjoyable, and things that we just want. And there's an inertia that is helping us along, that is granting us good luck as we connect with these aspirations. All right, January 14th, we have Venus square Jupiter. Now, this is a positive time that's being brought forth, but there can also be a shadow side to it. Venus in Pisces square Jupiter in Gemini. The benefics are aspecting, and when they do, good things happen. But too much of a good thing can cause issues. So be wary of overspending, indulgence, and escaping oneself, maybe using vices to escape reality, and overspending. Did I already say that one? Now, there can be a positive connection that takes place here that is involved with expansion and networking and social circles. And we're talking about intellectual exploration as well. So these are uh, groups that are meaningful and give us something in return. There's a feeding that can take place, a want and a need. And there's a romantic dance between freedom and desire and expansion, the heart and the mind. So you have Jupiter in Gemini, and Venus in Pisces. You have the water and you have the air. There's a combination that can create idealism. So this can be a double-edged sword, because you may be striving for this perfection, or setting yourself up for disappointment when reality kind of falls short of your expectations. However, it does create opportunities of growth if you experience that, and it's in its fullness there with full disappointment and setting our expectations too high. So that is a positive that can be brought out of that. Just hopefully it's caught in time. So yeah, there's a balancing of emotional and intellectual, and there's an overall theme this week of that energy as well. So these last few days, we've been feeling positive energy coming from these more masculine signs. And in this instance, on January 15th, we have the Sun square Mars. This can be more of a difficult or challenging transit to involve a malefic planet that is currently retrograde and in its fall. The Sun in Capricorn square Mars in Cancer. This is a transit that's strong and courageous. It's bold, it's intense, it's aggressive, it can be violent, and it's goal oriented. It's it's very motivated. So if you think about the billy goat trying to get to the top of the mountain and it's striving to achieve its goals, you have pure stamina and inertia with Mars involved here. And so there is that. You have the planet associated with energy, giving a lot of energy. However, the shadow side of the transit can create power struggles and have us in an egoic state of mind, which is leading to conflicts when that ego is inflated. And there can be an identity issue here as well. What about what I need? And it can create more selfish type of perspectives that can take place, and an overall irritability kind of just blankets everywhere. You'll notice that wherever you go, even at the grocery store or within your friendship circles, there can be more tiffs and impulsive behavior, not to mention accidents and um, issues that can present themselves, like just unexpected challenges and conflicts or reckless behavior. Um, I said accidents, but yeah, so be careful at this time. Not just individuals, but events that can be challenging may also surface at this time. So people may be more aggressive in nature. So if you find yourself in the heat of an argument and someone is provoking you, now is not the time to engage. Now is not the time to get your 2 cents in or get something off your chest or finally say that thing that you've been holding in. It's gonna more than likely erupt in a negative way. The potential for the malefics to act in a negative way in this transit are very likely. So on January 15th, I would avoid any conflicts, confrontations, um, any reckless behavior, or even just forgetting to put on your seatbelt. Certain things, if you are challenged and there is an authority that is over you, it is more wiser to submit, to retreat at this time for because the potentials of issues becoming worse at this time are more likely than not. And it's better to channel this energy constructively because it is more likely going to be destructive if it is fueled. Exercising, um, hard work, or healthy outlets of releasing built up energy at this time are highly recommended so that this energy can be released from your body. If you dance, dance. Um, Maybe even just some yoga, just get the movement and physical activity to be able to just release this energy from your body because it can get pent up and it's better that you do it in a constructive way. January 17th, we have the Sun sextile Neptune. Sun in Capricorn, sextile Neptune in Pisces. This is a very helpful transit for connecting, and it can bring visions and dreams into focus and like an intensity behind them. Sensitivity can heighten, and like psychic hits. Um, our imagination and our awareness are expanded, and there's a softer assisting assistance that comes with us when we're looking at these insights, and we're able to analyze things in a more empathetic nature and a more intuitive place, and um, empathetic, empathetic mentally. So you're able to see things in a more insightful way. This is a fantastic time for magical workings or trying to do any divination. Okay, January 18th, Venus is conjunct Saturn. Venus in Pisces is conjunct Saturn, and they are both in a watery place of love and magic and empathy. So this can be a very positive placement, although Saturn's associated with limitations and restrictions and delay and time challenges. Venus is in a place where it can overcome Saturn's more restrictive nature. And so the love and beauty and art that um, Venus brings with Pisces, watery fluidity that calls for acceptance. There's a compassion that overcomes Saturn here. So there's a compromising nature, even amongst challenges that could be presented at this time. This is a transit to hone in on your passions and your creative nature, things that really express your true self and do it openly, kind of honing in on what makes you happy and what really brings you joy and contentment. There can be an empowerment that takes place when you're faced with external pressures or self-doubt. And so Saturn holds commitments. Um, and Venus, it's our values. When you have decisions that are presented on how to move forward with something based on our hearts, that's going to be the best way to navigate this energy. When you're talking to that true nature of yourself, what you truly want, and you're coming from a place of knowing what your voice is, there is there's an allowance that's being brought forth to you to claim. So there's a possibility that Venus, the one of desire, can feel isolated with Saturn as well, because this is a malefic planet. So loneliness could present itself, or not feeling a part of, or so Venus wants to be liked, Venus wants to belong. And so if there's a general feeling of not belonging, that can definitely take place for sure. However, there can also be a connection with responsibility with Saturn. So questions that can arise is like, how did I get here? What responsibility do I have in this? And yeah, how did I end up here? It can highlight our fear, um, our vulnerability, whether it be grief or trauma or just fear of being vulnerable. Saturn's associated with time and cycles, so there's like an ending and beginning that can be taking place as well, and it's involving that vulnerability of our hearts, whether it be in a positive nature or a more isolated feeling. There's definitely work within this transit if that isolation feeling is taking place. It's really asking yourself to become involved with where it's coming from. The medicine here is insight to our jadedness. So, um, yeah, definitely really take that into consideration. And if it's coming in positive ways, man, hold on to it and use it to really push forth in those areas of creativity and passion and joy and beauty as well. So, I mean, this could be a great time to reorganize your house and get things beautified and in a more harmonious feng shui type of way. And yeah, we could do that physically as well with our physical bodies, such as getting a haircut or yeah, really channeling it in all different aspects. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic week and till next time. Bye.